Hello, my everythings. I'm Catherine. Welcome back on board the bus. I got a couple stories today, kind of some past projects, but also just like, I don't know, this was a really fun build and I want to talk about it long format. As you may know, my daughter, we call her Little Sprout here, she is a delightful, sweet nerd in her own, and she, for Halloween in 2021, wanted to be Toadette from Mario, from kind of the Nintendo universe, but not just Toadette, Captain Toadette from Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. And I did put up a short about that. It's still one of like my favorite things that I've built because it's so stinking cute. And it was like pre all the like mushroom hats and everything, so it was really fun to kind of figure that out and then see them just kind of explode in popularity and then just feel like, yay, I've made one of those. Like I always love it when I'm like either right on a trend or able to just kind of make something that everyone else is making, because honestly it's fun and everyone kind of gets to geek together. It's like, yes, I made one of those too. So that was in 2021 and we kind of wondered if that was going to be like the start of her like, I'm going to pick an obscure character every year, and good luck, because we've always said like as a family, just whomever she wants to be for Halloween, we'll figure out a way. If Party City has a costume, great. When they had Peso the Penguin from Octonauts, I was like, you know what? Score. It's exactly what I would have made. It's a cute little penguin hat. Like, I don't need to make that. But of course, like as a cosplayer and as a maker, like when I can help her make her dreams and her reality like real, you know, like that's ultimately like what I love about making, right? She was Captain Toadette, and then in 2022 it was like, okay, well, what are you gonna be for Halloween? And there were some serious contenders. She was thinking about being Coraline, which I would have loved, but again, it's her decision. And then out of nowhere, because there's this long-running like kind of joke that she wasn't into any of the fandoms of either me or her dad, and he's big into superheroes and I'm big into Star Wars, right? So like, you know, you have all these visions of having this little nerd thing, and then they're like, they pick their own fandoms and you're like, I respect you as an individual. But oh, my Star Wars dreams. But no, it's but out of left field, she decided to be a superhero for Halloween, and so of course her dad is like, yes. So she ended up picking Honey Lemon from Big Hero 6. So that came out in what, 2013? Don't quote me. I'm recalling this. And there was a Halloween costume, and we're like, all right, well, score. Like, if we can just get the Disney costume, like Disney costumes tend to be pretty good, right? Like, this will be fun. It'll be dress up friendly. Well, because it was an obscure film and then an obscure character, she's not the main character. The costume at this point, like we're talking 2022, it was expensive and like third-party sellers only, and it's like, like, you know, that budget for that like Amazon price, like I can get you costume for that budget. And that's ultimately the route we decided to take, was, you know, making it instead of buying it. Like it's totally valid. Make your costumes, buy your costumes, thrift your costumes. Like for me, it really comes down to time, budget, and like expectations of the client, right? Like, what do you want it to do? How do you want it to fit? Do you want it to be something we can play with? Does it need to be machine washable? Is it one time? Is it for a photo shoot? Like, you know, like there's a cost analysis breakdown of effort. But at that point, yeah, it was like, you know what, for that same price, like we're gonna make it. And so I have a bunch of footage, and I just kind of want to talk you through the process. So here's the making of Honey Lemon for Big Hero 6.
After checking my fabric stash and my pattern library and determining that I had nothing for superheroes, we headed to our local fabric store. For the pattern, I used Simplicity 1035, ironically a DC superhero pattern. But I figured this had style lines and a lot of the same flair, and I knew it would be dress-up friendly. Honey Lemon wears an A-line dress with fishnet tights and fishnet on her arms. I combined the arms to the dress to make it way easier for dress up. Assembly was super easy, followed the instructions, serged it for strength, put a zipper in the back, and called it done. For the armor, the helmet, and the chem purse, we used EVA foam. I used Evil Ted Smith's basic child helmet pattern. I mocked up the chest by wrapping foam around Little Sprout, and then I used Packworks Creations template for the chem purse. After gaining confidence with the foam, I went to tackle the purse strap. Little Sprout was the perfect size to have ping pong balls, which allowed them to be light and hollow, and also far more durable than styrofoam, which was one of my first, that might work ideas. The ping pong balls also lended themselves perfectly for illumination. And while the light up strap isn't in the movie, this was a total rule of cool move for the kid and a boon for safety in the dark evenings that are Halloween and trick-or-treating. Would recommend having your child light up. The strap is a sandwich of woven webbing, then the LED light in the wire, then some more woven webbing with holes poked in it, and then the ping pong balls. Now the balls have a hole poked in them, the LED pokes through the webbing and into the ball, and it's all secured with Gorilla Hot Glue, but you could throw in some stitches if you felt that it needed it. I set aside the strap to then work on the surface coating of the foam. All the foam pieces were first sanded and then primed with multiple layers of Plasti-Dip, which is a rubberized sealer. They were then painted the bright, fun superhero colors and given pinstripey details. Little Sprout helped with these. Look, those are her little hands. A few more bits and details took the armor and helmet to completion. Once the paint was dry on the purse, it was time to add in the screen. I had this brilliant idea to trace a still from the movie and use my silhouette to cut out all the little details, and I chose this neat metallic finish vinyl, but it didn't quite leave the details I needed. Oh well, nothing a Sharpie can't fix. Now this got attached to the clear screen, and I trimmed out the purse with a little fun foam for those extra finishes. The strap got glued on at this stage, and the purse and the costume was done. Little Sprout and I went for a joint photo shoot at Vasquez Rocks with our photographer Feze, and I am so enamored with the results, so please enjoy the reveal.
Okay, so like the photo shoot was like my favorite thing in the world, and I know we got to see it in the reveal, but I have it here and I kind of just want to like show you the pieces in real time, if you will, because it's really cute to see it on the kiddo, but I feel like this is like a little bit more intimate show and tell, if you will. So like here we have her little chest plate. Now of course these pieces have now survived Halloween, multiple trunk or treats, the photo shoot, dressing up, you know, like everything, but they're still like, honestly, for my first foam armor, I'm still really proud of this because it's still actually holding up. You know me, anytime that I can like learn a new technique or experiment with something, like I'm just gonna keep adding. It's like a brick and we're just building a big castle of skills and techniques. Same with the helmet. This was my first helmet. I was really proud of the, it's tangled, but child, of the like wig weft in the back here so that we didn't have to do a full wig. It's removable as well, which I know didn't really show in the video, but we can do this. So for playtime, she can just use her own hair. We don't have to worry about like the nonsense that is dealing with keeping wig fibers untangled, and it's just like a quick like and go. I do wish this fit me because this is super cute. But obviously the kind of piece de resistance, if you will, the big part of this costume was the chem purse, and again, for prop building like purposes, this worked out really well. I love the little screen, I love the chem balls, and then the fact that hold on, I gotta turn on all of it. Yeah, the fact that it lights up. Again, and this was just fairy lights, like these were just from Michael's. It's two battery packs. You can kind of see them in there. This part fell off, but hey, what are you gonna do? It's just 2 battery packs, some ping pong balls, and some nylon webbing, which, you know, not to toot my own horn, but I thought was pretty, like, it's durable, this doesn't stretch, the wires aren't in any danger, like, everything's insulated and safe, and it lights up. I'm gonna hit the lights just so we can really appreciate this. There is quite a lot of illumination from this, and you can see the numbers on the screen really well this way, and it just, again, in that, yes, it's anime manga influence, but yes, it's, you know, kind of 50s, but it's also, this gives like Main Street Electrical Parade vibes, which is really that like solidly Disney, and I love how this came out, like so much. And like, I just love how this came out. I know that Little Sprout was really proud of it. She had such a confidence when she was wearing it, and like as a parent, that's like, it's like, oh, I helped give her that, like that's amazing. But then also, like, she was very heavily involved in the process. If you've been on any of my live streams, I talk a lot about involving my daughter in all of the costumes that we make, and I kind of want to make a whole video essay on that. But really, just to very briefly get into it, there is something about being able to see these things come together. There's project management, there's hands-on building experience. you know, like I know she's not going to pick up every skill the first time I show it to her. That's not how learning works. You got like 20 to 400 instances with something before you like really pick it up. But I'm able to involve her in these ways, and like we're both growing together. Like for me to be able to learn something well enough to teach it to her, for her to be able to express herself and say, oh, it needs to be like this, you know, to go through a pattern together. Like there's a lot of things in there that I absolutely just love being able to work like through it with her, and also for her. And yeah, it's really fun. So yeah, it's Halloween. Yeah, you know, like we didn't have to go this extra. And honestly, with all things considered, we still came in under budget from the one that we would have bought from like third-party sellers. And so like, you know, make the best choice, buy your costume, rent your costume, make your costume, thrift your costume, like, you know, be the character, because ultimately it's about play. It's called cosplay, but ultimately I'm really happy with what we made. Like, it was fun for me to do foam. I hadn't done that before. It was fun for me to do LEDs. I hadn't done that before. And now I feel like I've leveled up, and I got to give my kid what she wanted. So thanks for joining me for this video. If you like what we do here, please feel free to stick around. We like to say here that the bus's doors are always open, and you're welcome on board the bus anytime.